Hello, my name is Ben, and on this YouTube channel I document my own print-on-demand journey. Today I would like to talk about some basics about t-shirt designs, things that I learned very much in the beginning of my POD journey, but I know in the comments I often see that people still struggle and have a lot of beginners obviously coming into the market as well, which is fine, which is great, but you need to know as well, what you need to take care of. And I just like to cover three things that will help you to avoid any mistakes, especially in the beginning. I guess people who have some experience in the print-on-demand market shouldn't have a problem with it because they know that these things need to be taken care of. They might have heard it somewhere else before, but if you're just starting with print-on-demand, it will be important for you to understand just three of these basics of running a t-shirt business, of creating print-on-demand designs. Now, the very first one that I'd like to cover off is just the background color. So I'm on Flying Research now, which is one of the research tools that I use to do my print-on-demand research. Basically here under bestsellers. So I click on bestsellers, which will show me of all the marketplaces, the best-selling t-shirts. Well, to make it easier, maybe I'll just go with the US marketplace, which is the biggest marketplace. Now what you can see here is the background color is most of the time dark. Yeah, so I would say 75% at least, maybe even more, maybe more like 80-85% is dark, which means that most t-shirt designs are being created for a dark t-shirt background color. And the reason for that is that most t-shirts that are selling are dark colors. So that could be black, that could be navy, it could be something like dark green, but I think gray, dark gray, black, and dark blue, navy, these are the shirt colors that sell most of the time. I couldn't find a reference for that, but I heard it somewhere, and I not only heard it, but it's personally my own experience as well. But I did read it somewhere in the beginning of my print-on-demand journey. I think it was an article somewhere. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it anymore. But you can see that most people, well, it's not only most people designing for that, but then also the here under bestsellers, it shows pretty much 80% of these designs are created for a dark t-shirt background. So whenever you create designs, you need to think about, do you want to do something like, do you want to do something like this here? Yeah, so this All American Girl one, where you have a white t-shirt background and you have a black text or dark text, that wouldn't look good on a dark t-shirt color because the American is in black. What you can also do, what you can always do, you could create a design like that for a white t-shirt background, and then you could do the same again like here on the other side for a dark background. So this is very similar, obviously, might actually be from the same seller. But what you could do here, you can just create it like that. And then if you use something like Photoshop or a design tool, then you can easily change the color of these elements here to white and then create it for a dark. So you basically get with the same design, you actually create two designs, or with the same template, you create two designs, which will make it much easier for you to create more designs. And it makes sense as well because some people just like white t-shirts, but most people apparently like dark t-shirts. So that is one reason, the first reason, or the first tip I can give you to to avoid mistakes and to boost your sales, or at least to avoid spending all the time and not getting any sales. What is the second tip? The second tip I can give you, and we can go to Redbubble. Again, 4th of July I typed in here because most of these bestsellers currently are 4th of July because that is coming up. If you want to design now for the 4th of July, it might be a bit late. But here, just to give you an idea, what you want to make sure is that the text is big enough, because when people are scrolling through this here, and it's better to see here on Redbubble than on Flying Research, when you scroll through here, as you just imagine you're a customer now, I rarely look at the text here in the description. First of all, because it's you see the design straight away, so that is what catches your view. And on the other hand, it doesn't show the entire description here anyway. It only shows part of it. So most people only look at the t-shirt thumbnails, or the sticker thumbnails, whatever it could be. So make sure that the text is big enough. The text needs to be big enough so that you can read it straight away. I'd argue this here is difficult. That might actually be a trademark. Well, I don't know what that is with a photo there. It's a bit strange anyway. But you want to be able to read it. So this Happy Treason Day, Ungrateful Colonials, you can read that without much difficulty. Also here, Brexit 1776. Well, the July the 4th is a bit difficult to read, but it still works because you can read the main message, which is Brexit 1776. Also here, Fireworks Director, I Run, You Run. Very good to read. And these are all on the first pages, which sort of indicates that they are selling pretty well. They are all eye catchers, you know, and the text, that is the most important thing. It is big. The text is good to read. Also here, Best Cat Dad Ever, Ben Rankin. Yeah, they're all good to read. So that's the second tip I can give you. The third tip I can give you is not only make the text big enough, also make the design big enough. Because most of these bestsellers, as you can see here, if we scroll through again, most of the designs are just massive. They basically fill out the entire design. And even though it might actually sometimes look on the t-shirt, if you buy it and receive it, and then you might think actually, oh, the design could have been a bit smaller actually. It still looks much better if you have a big design here in the thumbnail, and you can see it here as well. If you have a small one like that here, Ford Bronco, but you have a smaller one, it actually looks much better if you have a bigger size design like this one here. So also speaking from a customer here, from a customer point of view, I wouldn't buy a design that I can hardly recognize or that's just too small. So if I see two next to each other and one is too small, I would rather buy the larger one. So I can't see an example here, but they are all fairly big. Yeah, especially this one here, Too Cool for British Rule. That's a good size. But if you have one that's really small, hard to recognize, and I had it, the reason I say that is that I did a few shop reviews in the past, and one big point here was still oftentimes the design was just too small. And on, you know, when you go into Redbubble, for example, you upload and then you can resize it. My recommendation is make it as large as possible. Otherwise, people might just not do it. And the thing is, they might just not buy it. And the thing is, if you see in a t-shirt in a shop, for example, and you might actually buy the one with, oh my God, what's that? You might actually buy the one with a smaller design. But if you see it online, you're competing here against thousands of competitors, and you want to make sure that your design sticks out. Therefore, have a good size design, have good size text, and design on a shirt and a dark background. That's my recommendation. But again, with a background color, it's just something to be aware of, I think, because there are people who just like designs on a white shirt. So you might actually have, with the same template, you can create it for both background colors. That's what you could do. I don't, because I'd rather create for the best-selling background color, which is black or dark. So that's just my point of view. But if you have, if you find it easier, and you can just swap the design color, the colors of your elements, that's fine. But so that's really my 3 points here. 3 points that I'd like to make, because as you can see here, 130,000 competitors nearly. Unique designs under the 4th of July, so it's really hard to sell. And if your design is too small and it won't stick out, just think about these 3 points here. That's everything for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, then please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on my print-on-demand journey, subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.